All right, it's time for another recap video. Hello. My name is Greg Underdahl. Maybe you already know that. So I'm a cameraman for Major League Fishing, and just going to do a recap video of my day on the water. And today was actually, I've been here on Lake Okeechobee for 3 days. And let's see here. This is the Bass Pro Tour. This was Group A today, and it would be round 2 for Group A. I think yesterday I said Group A. I meant I was with Group B yesterday. Today I was with Group A. This was the final qualifying round, so everybody in this round had to get into the top 20. So today was a much nicer day. And because of that, the wind was down, and the anglers, they weren't allowing them to trailer to different boat ramps today. They all had to launch from Scott Driver boat ramp. And it was a sunny day today, which was really nice. The sun was out all day. You can probably tell I have a pretty good sunburn. It's also a wind burn as well. But I was paired up today, at least in the morning, with Fred Rumbanis, and so I got up again at 5 o'clock, left the hotel here, this wonderful hotel, Hampton Inn, left here at 5:30, got to the Scott Driver boat ramp. It's kind of cool to set up here for MLF. Everybody meets in one location there. There's a kind of a building where we have all our camera equipment, and the boat officials and the cameramen, we all kind of meet in one area. We wait for the anglers to arrive. So Fred was actually really early, and I got my camera gear. He put his boat in, and he just kind of beached it by where everybody was kind of meeting, and I just took my camera gear, my bag, met him down there, and had about an hour to kind of kill and just talk with them. And one of the cool things, I've worked with Fred before. I worked with Fred a few times. The most recent time was at Red Crest, and that was in La Crosse, Wisconsin, I believe. Sometimes all these shoots kind of mix in together, and I forget where I've been. And plus, I'm getting older, so maybe it's early dementia or something. I hope not. But so Fred is super easygoing, super. Well, he's always very accommodating. A lot of these anglers are, but Fred in particular, he brought a butt. What would you call it? A butt pad? That's not the right word. A butt pad. Basically a seat cushion. That's another word, a way to say it, a butt pad, a seat cushion. So he brought a seat cushion for me, and these bass boats, the middle seat, these big 20, 21 footers bass boats, most of them don't have a cushioned middle seat. And so the passenger seat is cushioned, is a nice cushioned seat, but typically in the center, there's no seat, so it can be a really rough boat ride if you don't have a cushion. So Fred was nice. He actually brought a cushion, and that made the day much easier. And I'll get into that in a second. We had quite a rough boat ride, so the cushion was very nice. But let's see here. Looking at my notes, so with Major League Fishing, what's kind of cool is the tournament, kind of the blast off, if you will, or takeoff is like at 7:30. They have 30 minutes to get. The anglers have 30 minutes to get to their spot. So we had quite a boat ride to where Fred was fishing, which was a canal. And what was different from today, like I was saying, the weather was much nicer today, And so the boat ride in the morning was like no problem. We got down there, it wasn't rough at all, but it was a pretty good boat ride. I mean, it was probably 25 minutes. That's about right, 25-minute boat ride to where Fred was fishing. And this canal it's kind of interesting. This canal comes out into the main lake, but it's got openings in it. So it's like it protrudes out into the main lake, but there's openings that go out into the main lake. And Fred, to start the tournament, he was fishing one of these openings of the canal, and he was using a jerkbait, and he just had a bite going this morning. It was just, I suppose it was like a 5-inch jerkbait, 6-inch jerkbait. And it was kind of a medium running jerkbait. It had a longer lip on it. And he was targeting fish that are somewhat suspended in the water column. And he just catching 3 pound. He caught 4 3-pounders. I think he caught maybe a 2.5, something like that. They're all over 2 pounds, but that really shot him up early on, and he was in the top. I think he was in the top 7. He was like seventh or sixth, or maybe even higher for a little bit. But that early morning jerkbait bite was really what got him in to the cut line. That saved him. After that early morning bite, everything just kind of died for him. He went out and he tried to flip and pitch like heavier cover, matted vegetation and whatnot, but that wasn't happening. It was very tough. So the jerkbait was, that early morning jerkbait bite in the canal was super key for Fred. One thing I noticed, and I asked Fred about, so he's, in his console when he's driving, so he's got the graphs here, steering wheel, and, throttle, and right here, he had a bracket, and I asked him what that bracket was for. It was about this, high off the kind of the back deck, but near him, and basically it was about that high. And this bracket, he said, was what he uses for his Garmin. He's sponsored by Garmin, and he uses for his live scope. So he's got a live scope. I don't know if you call it a transducer for live scope, but if you're not familiar with Garmin live scope, it's like a real-time sonar. So you use this, if you point it in whatever direction you want to kind of see if there's any fish, it'll show you fish and it'll show them moving around. And so this bracket, I'm not exactly sure what that transducer looks like, but that bracket allows him to, he hooks the live scope up to that bracket and he uses it to when he's idling. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see here. So, Fred wasn't catching much later on, so they moved me. The MLF officials moved me to another boat. They moved me to Fletcher, and Fletcher Shryock. I gotta make sure I pronounce his name like Fletcher Shryock. And Fletcher, I've worked with Fletcher quite a bit now, and he was fishing the same area. I fished with him on, I believe it would have been day one. Was it day one? Yeah, day one. I fished I filmed with Fletcher. And does it look like I'm tired? Because I am tired. So I'm trying to keep somewhat of a energy level, that is it doesn't I'm on the verge of maybe passing out here, but please bear with me. So Fletcher, I was with him on day one, and he was fishing the same area, and super shallow water, but the water's actually come up now that the lake has calmed down. All the water that was being blown to the south end of the lake is now sloshing back to the north, or it already has kind of, and now the water level is kind of where it was before the wind was so heavy. And so that water came up, and it's still shallow though where he's fishing. He's fishing all kinds of just shallow vegetation, swimming a jig basically, and to get back into some of these areas, he just would go full out on plane and just go right into these shallow areas, with the emergent vegetation, the reeds and everything, and go right through. In fact, I got a shot of us, I'm sitting, so the boat official's right here, I'm in the middle, and Fletcher is right next to me, and I got a shot of us blasting through these weeds and then going to Fletcher and just, in his words, he's just going to send it. That's what he said. So he did send it. He made it into the top 20 cut. So now he goes to the knockout round, and he lost 2 big fish. In fact, one of them I got on camera that he lost. You may have seen it if you saw the live stream. But even missing 2 big fish, he lost a bigger one earlier when I wasn't in the boat that he said was like 7 pounds. So he lost 2 big fish, but he still made it into the cut. So he was really, kind of disappointed. Major League Fishing is going to have a heavy hitters tournament, which is all about big fish. And to qualify for that, you have to catch a big fish in these tournaments. So he was disappointed that he wasn't able to to catch those big fish today to qualify for that heavy hitters tournament. But I told him, I'm like, dude, you made it into the top 20, so you should be happy about that. So he was. But so let's see here, looking at my notes, I don't want to forget anything here. Okay, so what's kind of cool is he made such a long run that we actually, and this is cool about MLF, we were able to get picked up by his significant other. She drove to a closer boat ramp. Her name is Rose. I'm not sure if they're married or not, but so Rose picked us up, and which was very nice because I wouldn't have to go back to the I forgot to say too, I had one of the roughest boat rides getting to Fletcher, from Fred to where Fletcher was, and it was like, it was kind of nuts. But that's kind of how this gig is, it's one of the things, weather conditions, and the biggest thing for me is just making sure that I take care of the camera and nothing gets broken, while also making sure that I don't get broken too. So, but anyway, it was nice that we didn't have to go all the way back to the boat ramp, where everybody originally took off from. So Rose picked us up, and what was awesome is Fletcher. I have 3 dogs, and I'm really missing my dogs. And Fletcher and Rose, they have a French bulldog named Steve, which is hilarious. And so got in the truck, and immediately Steve was just like slobbering all over me. In fact, I still got slobber on my pants and everything, which is fine. I love animals, so it's not a big deal. And so yeah, like Fletcher's dog he was like trying to bite it was gentle biting of my earlobe, my right earlobe here. So that was my day, and tomorrow is going to be Group B day. So that would be Group B round 2. So their last qualifying round. Like I said, these qualifying rounds, the last day of the qualifying round, the guys got to get in the top 20. So how it ended today, Takahiro Omori took first with a 2-day total of 33.09. And so what's cool is he will move directly to the championship round now. He doesn't have to worry about the knockout round. Fred Rumbanis landed in 17th, so he dropped quite a bit after catching that flurry of fish on a jerkbait. He had a two-day total weight of 1906, and then Fletcher Shryock placed 19th, so he just squeaked in, but he placed 19th with a two-day total of 1809. So good day, beautiful day on the water. I'm sorry my energy level isn't where I'd like it to be, but it is what it is. This is day 3, and getting up early and shooting this is pretty taxing, as I've said in the past, but I do enjoy doing it. So, and I hope you enjoy watching these videos. If you do, please consider subscribing to Angling Uploaded, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.